So the first one would be, what brought you to the Wellness Summit?
A former classmate from, I went to graduate school at Stanford. Her daughter is one of the organizers. And she reached out to me and asked whether I would join, and I said yes. And I'm obviously a former Hoya, or I guess you're always a Hoya. And I just thought it would be fun to come here. Over the years, over my career, women have, supporting women and helping women be successful in business has been a big part of it, and so it was a great opportunity to come back to my alma mater and do that.
So I guess going off of that, what does owning it mean to you?
Owning it. Owning means being yourself. I think too often women are asked to be something that they're not, to fit in a model. I've worked in investment banking, I've been in consulting, I've been in brand management, and now I'm at Pandora Jewelry as their CFO. And I think so often women are kind of put into a model that's more of a male model, and that isn't going to make us successful. And so owning it to me is all about being yourself. Embracing that and going after whatever you want to. I think, all the opportunities that are out there, women should own it and go after them and make them theirs. So
it seems like you've been working kind of at an intersection of business and now fashion. What would you say is the biggest challenge that women face in these industries?
So the one thing that's fun about fashion is there's lots of women in the industry. And if I reflect on my career, like in my early days in investment banking, I was like the only woman in the high yield group. And then I look at where I am now at Pandora, and our executive team is more than 50% women, which is really, really terrific. And so So I think there's lots of opportunities for women. I think if I go back to the specific question around the challenges, there's still, there are still barriers for women. There's no question about it. I think the one thing that is terrific about in the fashion industry is you have role models. If I reflect in the early part of my career, there weren't women that I could look to figure out how do you be a woman in a very male-dominated environment? How do you think about if you want to have a family? How do you think about balancing all that? I didn't have that in my early days, and I look at fashion. In fashion, you've got lots of role models in the industry as a woman, which I think is terrific. I'm a big fan of mentors. If I reflect on my career, mentors have played an important role in my success and how I've gotten to where I am today. And I think it's important that any young woman who goes into the fashion industry is try to identify those set of mentors who can kind of help and support you and help push you to be kind of the professional you want to be.
So you just touched on it, to further add, what advice would you give to young women who are trying to enter this industry?
Specifically this industry? What advice? First and foremost, and this is general. This is advice regardless of the industry. I think you have to be passionate about whatever you're going to do. It's hard balancing lots of things, but if you're passionate and you feel like you're doing something that you really love and enjoy, that hard work goes away, right? Because it's something you're willing to invest the time in and do. And so I think it starts with making sure that you're in something that you're passionate about and that you want to do, not a friend, not your parents, you want to do. I think that's most important. I think second is our industry, the fashion industry, is moving a mile a minute. It's so fast moving. And there's so many opportunities for new startups, and they don't last and they go away. And so importantly is staying abreast of the trends of what's going on in fashion. That's one of the things that our company is constantly, what's going to be the next hot thing so that we can be on trend. And so, getting yourself immersed in, all the content that's out there. I think that's one thing that's great is there's so much digital content out there so that you can stay on top of trends. Go to shows, go to other places where you're going to kind of be abreast of kind of what's hot. And then I would say the third is making sure that, if you ultimately want to be a president of a fashion business, making sure that you have a broad set of experiences. And so that is, if somebody says to you, I want you to go run this operations group, and you're like, I know nothing about operations, go do it, because it'll help round you out as a leader, and so that you can ultimately have all the confidence in the world to be a president or CEO of any kind of fashion company. But I would encourage folks, there's a lot of folks come in through just the design or the kind of product development piece. I think it's important to have a broad set of experiences so you round you out. Again, I'm setting the goal of being the president or the CEO, right? But having those breadth of experiences early in your career will set you up well to be on path to do that.